All right, welcome to Lab 6. So, you guys have built out a good portion of the website, whether it's e commerce or review site that you're building. And today we're going to actually incorporate the components that are going to give you kind of like that gallery feel. So, for example, if I go to like Rotten Tomatoes, you see how there's all these different photos, there's a little description, and then in this case, they have a rating, for example. So we're going to incorporate that kind of functionality today, where we're going to dynamically get the items in a new table that we're going to make. We're just going to call that table gallery. And we're going to have the picture path. We're going to have an ID for each of those pictures, which is going to be relevant for the very next lab, which is where we do the reviews, because we want to associate a particular review with a very specific meme or like item, whatever it is you're going to have for your site. We want to associate the reviews with a very specific item itself. So we're going to have a title. We're going to also have an upload date. Um, and let's see, what else are we going to have? And a rating. Yeah, title, description, pick path, and upload date, a rating, and an ID field. So with that, let's go into our PHP MyAdmin. Which again is CS230 lab. If you've forgotten, I'm not going to save that. Go into your CS230 database over here, and we're going to create a table. And this one's going to be called gallery. And although this lab sounds like it's going to be more complicated than it actually is, we're going to simplify things. We can actually copy and paste some stuff from the profile lab that we did last week, and we're going to make some tweaks, some modifications to it, because we're going to have an admin page that is going to allow us to upload photos graphically instead of having to do it in here. So for the first field, we're going to have PID, which is just going to be the picture ID. This is going to be, I'm going to widen that, an auto increment field. So make sure that you check this box right here, and that's going to be our primary field, which again is basically like a way of like indexing things. So auto increment is the best way to index things because it means that you only need one field to find a specific record or a specific row in here, which is great. Our title of whatever each of those things is going to be. So for example, I'm doing memes, so I'll have one be like He-Man, another be like crying Mike Tyson or crying Michael Jackson kind of thing. Wait, Michael Jordan. Yeah, wow. For this one, for the title, just gonna leave it at like 60. I'm gonna have a script because I'm lazy and I'm not gonna type out the full thing. And that is actually going to be a text field, and that's going to allow it to be kind of like an arbitrary length. It's just like really, really big. I'm gonna have a pick path, and that's gonna be varchar. The type for that one is gonna, or sorry, the size for that one is gonna be 80. And then upload date, upload underscore date. And that is going to be a date type. And we're going to give it a default, which is the current timestamp. And this way we can order things by date. We can get the most recent items and put them at the beginning of our list of pictures, basically, is more or less what a gallery is. It's just a list of pictures that's ordered. And then the last part is the rating, which if I can spell it correctly. And that's just going to be an int. I'm not going to specify a size or anything on it. it'll be 11 by default, so 11 digits, which is really, really big. We only really need 2, actually, because this is never going to get larger than 10, I believe. All right, so yeah, that should be good to go for right there. Yep. Value for upload data. Oh, upload date first of all. Maybe use datetime instead for the type. Yep, datetime works. Yep, so make sure that your type for upload date is datetime. And then make sure that the default for that is current timestamp. If you didn't do that correctly, you can just go in here and change it. You don't have to go through and completely redo the table or anything. Okay, cool. Our gallery is set up. The next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to copy this profile page and we're going to paste it in here and we're going to rename it to admin.php. And in our includes folder, we have this upload helper.php. We're actually going to be able to copy that as well into the includes folder. Where's paste? There we go. And we're going to rename this one to be our gallery helper. Now, our gallery helper is actually going to be part of the admin page, not our gallery.php. So that's why I'm going to do these ones first. So we're going to use a lot of the same functionality here because we're going to be grabbing pictures from our admin page. And we're just going to have a few extra components in here. So we have a bio section right here. We're just going to rename this one to description. And the name for this one is going to be description. You may have some CSS that's applied to this page. You may want to change that. We are not going to get a profile picture. We're going to get a default pic. And this is going to be from... We're probably not actually going to have this section right here. Yeah, we're actually just going to delete this section right here because we don't need to actually grab any picture from anywhere. What we're going to do is this image, instead of this PHP echo bit right here, it's just going to be a default image that we specify, and we can just find that in the images folder. You can also get a new one. I'm going to use the C2 one because I think it's funny. Or 2.jpg is fine. So yeah, I'm just going to go images / 2.jpeg. All right, neat. And then this is still going to be a method post, but it's going to be going to gallery helper. That's on line 30. Let's see. We're still going to use this triggered bit. Just to keep everything straight, I'm going to change the IDs to be gallery instead of prof. But the functionality will be the same. And I'll define a gallery.css in a little bit. It's probably going to be the same though, so I'm not going to make any modifications yet. And the ID for this is going to be all, and the names are going to be all gallery dash whatever. Gallery image, gallery image. I'm going to lowercase that description bit right there. Placeholder is going to be description. And let's see. Instead of prof display for this image right here for the ID, it's going to be gallery dash display. And let's see. This label is not going to exist. It's actually going to be another input. So we're just going to type in input right here. And there's all these different ones that come up. I'm just going to go with the first one, type equals text. And we're going to give it a name. I'm going to copy and paste some of the stuff here. Is going to be gallery title, or just title, whatever works is fine. Let's actually I'm just going to do title because I'm lazy. All right, and then the class is just going to be form dash control class equals form control in quotes like that, and the placeholder is going to be title, probably in lowercase. That'll probably be better as lowercase. And then this is just going to be submit, but it's going to be gallery instead of prof. And this just kind of keeps me straight as to what I'm doing. The description's fine. Let's see, we got our title, we got the image, the upload date will be automatic, and by default when we put it in there, it'll be null. So that's fine for the rating. The reason we don't want to use 0 is because we don't want it to look like someone has negative or like really bad reviews, like 0 people like their stuff. So we're just going to leave it as null until they have at least 1 review. So that should do it for our admin.php page. We'll get to the gallery helper. Oh, I need to rename this guy a little bit so it doesn't have copy at the end, because that will mess me up. Make sure that you don't have this copy bit there. Make sure that it's just gallery-helper.php in the includes folder. And make sure that you're referencing it right here. Includes /gallery-helper.php. Okay.